Humanity's true journey. You are currently residing in the third dimension of a 15th-dimensional time matrix, known as the Gaia time matrix. It is approximately 950 billion years old. There are currently about 20,980,900 time matrices in existence. All are different and are used as playing fields to give sentient particles of God's source different experiences. Time matrices are created so that non-physical beings in the deity planes, where your true heaven and home reside, and in which exist outside all time matrices, can experience physicality. To be able to feel, taste, smell, hear, and see. To experience all of your senses within the illusion of time. Time in which doesn't exist in the deity planes. You enter into time matrices from the deity planes, and in the case of the angelic human Christos, the species of humanity on 3D Earth, which has a 12-strand DNA template, you manifested with 1,728 avatars, with 144 correlating harmonics within these avatars for each strand of DNA. All these different avatars have seeded or have spread out throughout all of the 15 dimensions. In the 15th dimension, you manifest as your sun selves. In the 14th dimension, you manifest as your host planet selves. In the 13th dimension, you manifest as your planet selves, in which this 13th dimension does not host life. In the 12th, 11th, and 10th dimensions, you manifest as your avatar selves. In the 9th, 8th, and 7th, you manifest as your oversoul selves. In the 6th, 5th, and 4th dimensions, you manifest as your soul selves. And in the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st dimensions, you manifest as your identity selves in different times and places. In a time matrix like the one you are in now, it is supposed to only take 33 years to work your way from the very bottom, or the 1st dimension, to the top, 15th dimension, and then begin the phase of exiting the time matrix with all of the avatars you mastered. Simultaneously, all of your experiences are encoded within your light body. You can only ascend out of a time matrix with all of your avatars, because they are all quantum entangled and can altogether be considered one being. If one gets stuck or is somehow prevented from ascending, all of your avatars get stuck as well. Your higher self, or God Self, always remains in the deity planes in stasis, watching over all of your avatars. Time matrices are really just very advanced games that are created for sentient particles of God's source to experience physicality, for growth, learning, and evolving for more spiritual enrichment. This time matrix was created by Yanas, a family of the eternal collectives of consciousness projected by Source God, Intelligent Infinity Prime Creator, who were also the beings to be the first creators ever for the first eternal avatars, the Anu-Elohim. And it happened approximately 950 billion years ago. The Elohim were the first eternal avatars to ever be created. They could go into any time matrix with their eternal avatars and live forever, without ever having to eat, drink, or sleep, and they would never age. They were the most advanced avatars of their time. They were powered by the standing energy of God's source. The Elohim were considered godlike amongst all of the other billions of species of sentient particles of God Source, who had to power their avatars with food, water, or auric energy from other beings. Yet, their physical avatars would eventually get old, break down, and die. The Elohim really enjoyed their godlike statuses in the time matrices, and as far as they were concerned, they would have liked it kept that way. About 1 billion years ago, Oraphim angels were also created with the same eternal template as the Elohim. About 450 billion years ago, the Yanas Collective decided to create a new superspecies called the Angelic Human Christos. These angelic humans were set up to be guardians of this time matrix and its stargates. This lineage had 5 root races. Each race possessed their own unique abilities, and each of these 5 races were amazing and equal in their value to the angelic human Christos species. Each of the 5 races had 12-strand DNA templates, and these races were supposed to be eternal, just like their creators. The Oraphim angels are currently incarnated on your planet now as types 1, 2, and 3 indigo children and adults. About 500,000 of them are all here under contract to do specific jobs, but are all more or less here to help all of humanity, including all of the invader races in their own ascension. Here is a description of each of these 5 races. The first race had red skin with extraordinary intuition and tracking abilities. The second race had brown skin with superhuman abilities to survive in hot conditions. The third race had yellow skin and possessed a deep respect for nature. This race was positioned for enlightenment. The fourth race had white skin with a hardy physique and could survive in very cold conditions. This fourth race also had increased clairvoyance and artistic abilities. And last but not least, the fifth race had black skin, were physically strong, and possessed beautiful angelic voices. Each race also had heightened sensitivity and emotions. Thus, the Oraphim angels were very happy with their creation. The 5 different angelic human races were purified for 430 million years in another time matrix. They were then seeded into this time matrix, a special and very sacred time matrix used to Christ, or in other words, they would become eternal free energy systems powered by God Source and can eternally regenerate certain avatars encoded with the Christos gene. Once the 5 different races interbred with each other and finally ascended out of this time matrix with all of their 1,728 perfected avatars, they would possess a superspecies avatar encoded into their light body with the power of the Christ, and be imbued with all of the abilities of the 5 root races. They could enter into any time matrix with their superhuman avatar and just live forever, if they choose, without ever having to eat, drink, sleep, or age, all the while possessing all of the abilities of the 5 root races and being powered by the standing energy of God Source. This was to be the most advanced and powerful avatar ever witnessed and created. This potential super avatar was far more advanced and powerful than the previous gods of the time matrices, named the Elohim. For this very reason, the Elohim didn't want to lose their standing as the gods of the time matrices. A small group of Elohim decided to break away from the collective and stop the evolution of the angelic human Christos. They called themselves the Anu-Elohim, or the fallen angels. Their excuse was that they truly believed that the angelic humans would or could be too dangerous to handle such a powerful avatar. 10 million years before the angelic humans were to be seated in this time matrix, the Anu-Elohim created the Nephilim, a winged, giant human-like species who were seated on Tara, 4th and 5th dimensional Earth, in which the Anu-Elohim focused all of their attention, since their sole motivation was to prevent one from the many of the angelic human avatars from activating the rest of the angelic humans and keep them from ascending. Remember, you can only ascend out of a time matrix with all of your 1,728 avatars. In this case, of the 12-strand DNA angelic humans, if one of your avatars gets stuck, the rest of your avatars also remain stuck. The Nephilim were coded for war in order to stop the evolution of the angelic humans at the moment in time when the angelic humans were to arrive on Tara 10 million years later. Once the angelic humans arrived on Tara, the males were killed, the females were raped, followed by being killed themselves. After all, they gave birth to the Nephilim human hybrids. Note: in other words, what Thoth called the undesirables due to their resistance to mental control and a very solid connection to Source. He proceeded with genetic experiments to create an unintelligent, dumbed-down version for personal enslavement. This suppression of the angelic humans proceeded for 10 million years on Tara by the Nephilim and other invading species. These beings were sent by the Anu-Elohim to Tara to further digress the angelic humans. The invading races never reached higher than the 4th dimension. This is when the Emerald Order sent down its protectorate fleet to Tara to stop the suppression, which led to a great war and ended in Tara being blown into about 12 pieces. These 12 pieces are currently residing in your solar system, also known as Sol 13 to Taygetian Pleiadians. All life on Tara were lost in that war, and the destroyed pieces of Tara were sucked into the Taran real sun. These destroyed pieces were repositioned on the other side of that toroidal sun. The sun, or exit portal opening which we see, which is our sun as we perceive, is just a reflector sun in the 3rd dimension. Note: welcome to the artificially constructed negative timeline matrix of anti-particle Tara, the shadow projection and mirror reflection of the true Tara, a shadow matrix with a lot of dead energy space known as miasma, used to run negative AI programs for the enslavement of the fractured minds, traumatized souls, and digressed DNA of humanity which were never fully activated. We incarnated on the negative timeline and dark Tara. Miasma can be described as infections inside a universal time matrix with a finite supply of source energy. It is a closed circuit system utilizing polarity reversal and the regressive entities residing within the fourth dimension siphon loose energy from both planet and humanity to sustain themselves in a parasitic manner. About 500 million years later, the planet Earth, which was the largest and most appropriate piece to support life with the sun, became the nursery. She had healed enough for her to support life again, and the second seeding event of the angelic humans took place. Soon after that seeding, the Anu-Elohim bioformed many invading species once again. This time, they were now called the Anunnaki, who were coded to stop the evolution of the angelic humans. In this early record of human history, the Guardian Alliance was sent down to stop the Anunnaki and led to the 1,000 years electric war. And as history repeated itself, this event almost completely destroyed all of human life once more. 13,000 years ago, the third seeding of the angelic humans took place. This is the seeding you are currently now. And shortly after that seeding, Anunnaki Dracos set up the recycle zone. This recycle zone was set up on the moon, which is actually an invader satellite, where human spirit souls would be mind wiped and recycled back into a human body. This moon, with its lunar matrix and frequency fence, were set up by the Anunnaki Zetas to drastically lower the frequency of the angelic humans and to harvest their loose energy while simultaneously placing a force field around the Earth. This realm was to be your electric prison for the next 13,000 years. All humans, all of humanity on Earth, have also been given alien, unnatural, harmful implants and seals. Most seals can be removed by Type 1 indigo energy healers. Unfortunately, some seals cannot be removed. Life on Earth has been made a deliberate hell to keep the angelic humans from ascending. In order to ascend out of this Gaia time matrix, you must vibrate in unconditional love and be at harmony with all life. This is why the Anunnaki have deliberately engineered everything in this world to stop us from vibrating in unconditional love and harmony with all things. You innately know this by the recycle and mind wipe zone along with the frequency fence, which keeps angelic humans vibrating at a frequency as low as possible. All of the unnatural and harmful energetic seals and implants were placed to stop you from evolving and to keep you in confusion. Facilities like HARP and CERN transmit terrible energies into this world. The fraudulent political system and judicial system, the fraudulent monetary financial system, the fraudulent medical system, the fraudulent military-industrial complex, the threat of nuclear gloom, the poisoning of your water and air, via chemtrails and unnecessary pollution, along with food tampering, genetically modified foods, pesticides and CRISPR technologies, the mainstream media and television or tell-a-lie-vision mind control system, dangerous radiation in Wi-Fi, microwave ovens, smart meters, smartphones, cell towers, and the soon-to-come 5G, which will destroy DNA. The nanotechnology threat unleashed in your food, medicine, air, and your water supply, both chemical and biological. The fraudulent brainwashing educational system. Even music is broadcast with a disharmonic frequency of 440 Hz, which does not resonate or harmonize with your DNA sequences. The fraudulent energy system, which uses poisonous coal, oil, and nuclear power plants, even though clean free energy is available. Solar wind, HEP, wave, geothermal, zero-point technology, and they are far safer and easier to use. Every aspect of this world is and was designed to keep humans vibrating at the lowest possible frequencies.